with this journey in life, I realized that more and more you never do it alone. And the successes you have, you can always look at your team and be like, man, this is why I succeeded. And when things hit the fan and you don't succeed, again, you can look at your team and be like, oh, we're right there though. We just need to add these parts. So I'm extremely grateful for everybody that believes in me. And again, once again, let me shout out Corey because he continuously supports, continuously pushes, continuously has my back, and that's appreciated. So, yeah. Now, today's topic should it shouldn't cause too much smoke. I had another topic I was thinking about talking about, but decided to go in a different direction because I didn't know if I wanted all that smoke this morning. So, topic for today is the mirror test. What does your self-reflection say about you? And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking first and foremost how many times I had to stare myself in the mirror and really decide what kind of person that I wanted to be and what kind of person that I was at that moment in time. And did they align? Did they look the same? Or did the person that or the person that was looking at the mirror, how different was it from the person I was trying to be? And am I on the right path? And that's a big deal a lot of times. So yeah, as we dive into that, I'll have a few more personal things to talk about on that. So how many times do you really look in the mirror and do quote unquote what we call self-reflection? How many times do you look in the mirror and ask yourself certain questions like, am I on my path? Am I going in the right direction towards my goals? Do I have the right people in my life? And what direction am I going? And so that becomes very important in this process. And what I've learned more and more dealing with younger people is that they don't do it as often as they probably should. So yeah, as we dive into this, it's gonna get, hopefully you have some questions, hopefully you have some comments to add in. As always, make sure you let us know what you're grateful for. That's always a big deal. And let's keep it pushing. So as we talk about self-reflection as a tool for growth, when was the last time that you can recall that you really took time to look within yourself? Not just like, oh, I look like this, but really dove in. And so when was that? Because that matters. I'm not saying you got to do it on a daily basis, but maybe a little more on a weekly basis, definitely on a monthly basis. And if the reason why it's important is if we're not taking the time to look at ourselves, right? Then how are we going to fix anything? How are we going to adjust anything? How are we going to pull ourselves back on the path that we want to be on? A lot of times we rely on what other people say and what other people do, and that helps, of course, but sometimes it can send us astray and not help us out in the ways that we really thought. So what does self-reflection mean to all of you? What self-reflection means to me is taking a deep into my mind, my emotions, my body. Am I where I want to be? Am I going to play? And am I doing the things necessary? So when I think about my mind and my emotions, I usually think about the trials and tribulations that I've encountered for the week, maybe the month if I haven't done it in a while. And I ask myself, did I react the way I want to react? Next time this occurs, did I react that way? Do I want to react that way again? And if the answer is no, then I start figuring out, okay, what way do I want to react? Before I even try to work on anything, I figure out, I try to look at the answer. I try to look at where I want to be. And so if I got into a debate with someone and I got upset, that happens in a marriage. So if I got into it with my wife, did I react the way I wanted to react? And if the answer is no, then I have to look within myself and say, okay, how is it that I want to react? Okay, I want to react like this. Okay, how can I get there? See, so a lot of times it's just taking a deep breath. It's walking away. It's choosing not to engage in behavior that I don't want to do, that I don't want to battle with. So it's things of that nature. When it comes to the physical, for me, and like I mentioned it at the beginning, I'm getting older. I'm 44. The aches and pains I have in my body from football, wrestling, semi-pro football, boxing, MMA, BJJ, Muay Thai fights, boxing fights, just all across the board. My body feels like it's battered and bruised all the time. And so it took me probably 2 years now. No, it took me 2 years ago to actually come to grips with the fact that I cannot train the way I used to. I can't just go put up massive amounts of weights. I can't just go destroy my body because the recovery time takes too long. And so I can't stay consistent. And consistency is what you need when it comes to working out more than anything. And so I had to come to grips with that. Now, over the past year, I've dubbed it down even more, and I do lighter weights. I do lighter work. I just work out. I try to work out 5 times a day. And so, but then when I didn't see, if I seen any kind of muscle dip or what is it? Fat gain compared to muscle. When I seen it go the opposite way that I wanted, like just recently, I've just basically gone. It's almost like a fighter's diet, and it's almost like keto, but it's not quite there. But it's way more meat and vegetables than it is carbs. It's like barely any carbs, but it's not keto and it's not a full-fledged fight diet. I'm just like adjusting for my age and what I can do now. The only way you could do that is by, again, looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself about things. Am I going the way I want to? Am I doing what I got to do? And then taking accountability for that. So that's a big thing that you're going to hear talked about while we're talking about this journey, is being accountable for self. A lot of times we're not accountable for ourselves, so we don't get to where we want to go. What y'all think? I see somebody said indeed. So now I'm gonna just put this paperwork over here because it's gonna start messing me up whenever I try to be too scripted, because I kind of know where I want to go with this. As you go further with the self-reflecting and looking yourself in the mirror, when you decide that you're gonna do something, you have to start that daily check-in. You have to start looking at yourself and say, am I making the right decisions? Am I going in the right way? And it could be just a check-in, like just asking yourself that question. It's really that simple. Am I doing the things necessary that I should be doing? And if you're a parent, I would encourage your kids to do that as well. Have them check in with themselves. Have them make sure that they're doing good, because man, I wish I would have done it when I was younger. I think when I was writing all this stuff down and typing it, moments that stuck out to me is how I would let someone's words affect me. And it wasn't like soft words. It was like if someone threatened to kill me, I would have a reaction. If someone slapped me across my face, I would have a reaction. And which is normal, I guess you could say, but I also come from the generation of mama jokes. Like, we would bag on each other's moms so much. Hey, Corey, is that what would y'all do down on the East Coast? Or, yeah, so it's like, it's a normal thing. where you completely disrespect someone's mama and no one takes it personal. We used to do that. So it wasn't like when we insulted each other, that didn't bother me. But I remember when I was in high school, this cat said he was gonna kill me, and I could have let it go, but I didn't. So I approached him, and I ended up getting sliced up because I approached him because I made it a physical altercation, and that could have went a completely different way. I could be I could have lost my life. And so what are they talking about? Okay, never mind. So when I did get sliced up and I have a cast on my arm because I had to do surgery to fix my tendons and nerves, I got staples on my back, stitches in my chest. I had to look and say, okay, was this smart? Did I make the right move? And the person in the mirror, basically looked me back in my eye and was like, nah, it wasn't smart. It wasn't the right move. It wasn't where you needed to go with this one. And so I was like, man, what can I do differently? How can I start moving different? How can I start making moves in a different way? And that really started propelling me down a different path during my teenage years. I want to shout out to Transcendent for the heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate y'all liking it. I see it. Man, I love y'all for the support. So, but at different times of my life, I've had to do this and have daily check-ins, monthly check-ins, weekly check-ins, and make sure that I'm doing right. So self-reflecting is basically taking accountability for yourself, right? It's making sure that you're running in the direction that you want to be running in, and making sure that everything that you're doing is on point. And sometimes you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear when you ask yourself those questions, and it's going to mess you up because you're the one that's responding to you, right? Am I going in the right direction? Nah, you're stupid because you stayed up too late and try to do this, this, and this, and this, and you knew you had to be at work. Well, that's harsh, right? But sometimes that's what you need, and you need to give it to yourself. Otherwise, someone else is gonna give it to you from the universe. And nothing smacks harder than the universe when you make a mistake. Nothing smacks harder than the universe when you're messing up. It's like, this isn't what I want. I wonder. We got people tuning in now, people talking. So do you guys ever check in with yourself? Do you ever get yourselves on point? What is it that you're trying to do in your life? And like business wise, where do you work at? What are you doing? Are you trying to run a business? Do you have kids? What's going on with your life? And why don't you do check-ins? If you don't check in, why don't you do check-ins? And so, yeah, as I'm looking at this, like I just talked about how brutal you could be with yourself, the importance of brutal honesty. It's making you face those truths. It's making you face yourself and be accountable for what you're doing. And a lot of times that's hard for us. And I've talked about it many times on this show. We struggle with accountability sometimes because it hurts. It hurts to be accountable for self. It can be a painful experience to break through everything and say, I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna do it that way, and I'm gonna stay on point with that. And sometimes we live in this world of a roller coaster, as I call it, where we'll go to one extreme. So we'll go way up to one extreme, and we think that's the answer, and then we'll come crashing down to the next extreme. So you can't live on here or here. The goal is, as you get older, you find a way to get in the middle and sort of ride that line where you can live somewhat in the middle. And it's hard when you first start it. It's quite difficult, to be honest with you. Like I keep thinking about different situations that I've lived. And more recently, over the past 4 years or so, basically since COVID, it's like I've had to switch who I am to a certain degree and find middle ground in what I'm trying to do. So being a fighter, opening a gym, having a gym, and doing all these things, and then still coaching people and trying to run the business, I'm wearing a lot of hats and I only have one demeanor. That's fight. So if you're in my way, I'm gonna move you out my way and I'm gonna go right through you. And so COVID hits, I can't fight that, right? And then I get back to opening shop. Well, I'm not a fighter anymore. Well, who am I? Who am I? And having that lost identity of like, who am I now? I became the fighter. I became the dad. And at that time I was like, I'm a husband, father, fighter. Well, now I'm no longer a husband. I'm no longer a fighter. I'm still a father. And I've talked about that on here. But is that my identity? Is that who I am? And figuring it out, it took many sessions of self-reflection. Like when you guys see the episode, like it's not even episodes, but when you see clips of me just sitting at this table, like tears coming down my eyes, talking about my life story and my journey, it's crazy because that was me self-reflecting and figuring out who I really was, who I wanted to be. Actually, it was a lot more figuring out who I wanted to be so I can figure out who I was and then start walking that path, if that makes sense. Transcendent says, I don't do check-in, but I have been doing monthly checks because of a bad experience I had last year. And I didn't like how I let others affect my actions. Yeah. In what way did others affect your actions? What do you mean by that? Things they said, things they did. K-Space, greetings, what's up? So what is it specifically that they would do that affected you? And how did you how did you react to that? So it's once you start on this journey, I've said it before, it's really hard to look at the world the same way and hard to look at yourself. What's up, man? What's up? It's like the fog gets lifted and you could finally see yourself clearly. And if you don't like what you see, you have two choices. You could take the red pill or the blue pill. You can go back to sleep and be ignorant about yourself and say, I don't care. Or you can wake up and start doing something about it. So Transcendent said their actions guided my movements and behavior, and it wasn't until I crashed that I realized what. So, oh, he said, what is this, brother, man? Oh, he sees it. Okay. So what actions did they do though? Like, you see what I'm saying? What specifically were they doing to you that guided your movements? Like, was it something they were saying? Was it something they were physically doing to you? What was it that was causing that? So I know, like I said before, I come from a generation, I'm 44, I come from a generation where we always made fun of each other. But letting words hurt me that talked about killing me or things, or challenged my, challenging my pride and my ego, challenging what I thought I had to stand on as a man. So that would bother me, and I would always react to that. So once I learned that it doesn't matter what they say, it made life a lot easier for me. Okay, there we go. People being two-faced and gaslight. Oh, that word gaslighting. That's a society word I am not a fan of. So here's the thing. People being two-faced. So you're basically saying they were lying. People that lie. Now, I always look at it like this. Everybody's got their own point of view. To them, they might be telling the truth. From their point of view, they're telling you the truth. So instead of worrying about if someone's lying to you, just see if it matters, what they're saying matters to your life. And oh man, I want to, you know what, Transcendent, can you share a full example? Like, can you break down what they did and what was going on? Blase, blase. So as we keep going, some things that help me. Oh, he said he can't. Oh man. Wait, you can't or you won't? Because there's a difference. Some things that help me look in the mirror. So don't apologize. Like, see, that's the thing. Don't apologize. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? Won't. Transcendent won't. All right. All I'll say to that then is it's not a bad thing. That's why I said you don't have to apologize. You're free to, like, it's social media. You can share what you want to share, and you don't have to share anything. So what I'll say is, if you still can't or you still won't talk about it, it's still gripping you. It still got you, right? And it's good that you started started looking within and started focusing on yourself and started really taking accountability for self. That's the big thing. The next step in that journey is, and I haven't even gotten there yet, but the next step for you is letting it go, right? Realizing that it doesn't have any power over you. It doesn't have any control over you. Just let it go. Let it go, so where you could talk about it out loud, where it's not gripping you the same way. The next step after that is the hardest step for most, is forgiveness. It's just forgiving the person, forgiving the situation. It is what it is. And then the last one is empathy. And I've talked about all this before. Once you learn empathy for others, it's crazy. And like, what is that? Kanai 671 is always step inside the shoes on the other side, because the protecting can also be in disguise. Yeah. Like, that's where empathy comes in. And that's hard. Deep H2O, two-faced, that's being one way here and another way in front of somebody else. Yeah. So it's like they're willing to show. Everybody's got their imposter, right? So you think about it that way. When Deep H2O, if we think about it that way, you think about someone that is when they're going on a date, you see their representative, right? You don't see who they really are. You see the representative. And so a two-faced, that's technically being two-faced right there. Devon, I learned to be calm even in extreme situations, even if I'm in the right to be upset, but still. Let me read that again without yawning. I learned to be calm even in extreme situations, even if I'm in the right to be upset. Still, yeah. So like, that's just learning how to, one, not let someone else bring a response out of you, stay in control of your own emotions, and then learning how to solve it and deal with it on your own first. Looney says, I think the hardest part is walking by faith, not just talking about it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think the hardest part is walking by faith, not just talking about it. Yeah. You know, a lot of the things that I talk about, I've reached a point to where I'm able to talk about it, but just like everybody else, it's still a work in progress, right? It's still the constant understanding that I need to get better. Like I said, these last 4 years have been crazy because I've gone from one end of the spectrum, tried it on the other end of the spectrum, and just to find out that I got to ride that middle ground a little bit more, because I'm always going to be that fighter. I'm always going to be that dude that wants to battle, the warrior that wants to go in there swinging the sword, the axe, whatever you want to call it. That's just what I've been since I was a kid. But I'm also not going to just go chill and sit around and do nothing, because that's not who I am either. So it's I have found a nice solid footing that allows me to be both, but I still mess up like anyone else. And then I have to go back in the mirror, have that talk with myself, remind myself that I love you, that I forgive you. I have to go back to being silent. What other people would call meditation, I stretch and I just like it's quiet. I just let my mind go wherever it goes. And then if I really need to, I ask other people for advice, or I ask did I react the right way? So it's always like this crazy battle that I got going on up here. And that's why I love talking to other people. I love these situations because I love talking about it, because so many times people think that we're just going through it alone, and we're not. We're all uniquely the same. We're all going through our own experiences, and some of us go through a lot of the same experiences, but it's our point of view that sees it that allows us to have this unique journey. And for me, talking about it always makes me better, always makes me stronger, always helps me out. And I love just talking to others and trying to help them as well. So, uh, Flippy Flop, Flippy Flop says, if I'm talking to myself, I'm asking the expert. Exactly. That's why they say geniuses speak to themselves. And a lot of times I think of myself as like, I'm just talking to myself on this. Like, it's super dope. And if you're struggling with just looking in your mirror, this is the challenge I give all my fighters. I take my fighters, I put them in front of a mirror, and I have them look themselves I have them look at themselves in the mirror, and then I have them say they love themselves, and then I tell them to say what goals they're trying to reach, right? This is what I do with my fighters, man. We dive deep in the mind, and some of them cannot do that right off the bat. They can't look at themselves in the mirror, and that's letting me know where they stand right now. Like, oh, you don't love yourself right now. You don't have belief in yourself the way you should right now. Boom. Like, but we're gonna get you there. Could you scroll up a little bit?
Yep.
You should wait, always room to advance. I think your ego gets in the way. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. My ego would definitely get in the way sometimes. You should read bedtime stories because your voice is soothing. Well, thank you, Hippie Meets Hood. I appreciate that. Hey, Hippie Meets Hood, you could just DM me. This is no lie, I've had people have me do that before. Read bedtime stories and then they just play it before they go to bed. I do charge for that service though. So, okay. El Roca. I understand English a little, but what you are talking has energy. Oh man, thank you. I'm gonna take that. I'm guilty of it. Yeah, real though. You're right. Sometimes we don't believe and we don't have faith. Yeah. And what's when you don't believe in yourself and you don't have faith in yourself, then how are you gonna believe and have faith in something else? Now, it does get trickier. It does get a lot trickier though when you're talking about the belief in God, because if you believe in God, then and have faith in God, then you understand that you will have that faith and belief in yourself as well. And so it gets trickier when you bring that into play, but you have to have faith in yourself. Forget belief, because belief comes with faith. I have faith that I'm always going to be good tomorrow. And it took me 42 years of my life to believe this, to even start this journey of believing it, that I have faith that I am going to be okay tomorrow. 42 years. I always believed in myself. I loved myself, but when you have faith that you're going to be okay tomorrow, that's a whole nother level of confidence, because you understand that you're not in control of anything but yourself. And that even comes with certain limitations. Because if you believe in God, then you understand that God has the final decision in that. If you don't believe in God, then that's a whole nother path that you would be traveling on. But your faith in yourself, regardless of either path that you're walking, is so vital and so important, because when you have faith in yourself, that anything can go wrong and you understand that you're going to be okay. Now, I knew if anything went wrong with my kids, I was going to have them. If anything went wrong with my wife, I had her. But to understand, to believe that and have faith in myself like that, because I was always constantly on the lookout for the boogeyman, like, oh, this might happen over here, so let me prepare for this. This might happen over here, I'm going to prepare for that. And I still move like that, but I know no matter what breaks through the dams, no matter what breaks through the door, no matter what happens, I have faith I'm going to be okay tomorrow. And that changed the whole game for me. So it's like, it's so powerful when you have faith in yourself like that. And that only comes from really looking within yourself. Because once you have an understanding of who you are, how this machine is running, then you can have faith that you're always going to be okay tomorrow, because you know how it operates. So if I know this over here upsets me, first of all, I have to ask myself, well, do I need this in my life? Why would I want something in my life that's going to upset me? Well, occasionally it's going to upset you and you need it in your life. Okay, so let me figure out why this is upsetting me and get it to not upset me anymore, right? No different than if I'm shooting a jump shot, what Kobe talked about, it, airballing his jump shots. So it's like my legs weren't there. Figure out what the problem is, solve the problem. It's really simple. So it basically, when you take the time to self-reflect, you're figuring out what the problems are, so then you can put a logical response and have logical answers to it. Because when you try to answer something emotionally, it's going to go wrong. It's going to go wrong every time. Every single time, because your emotional brain can't handle that. Wait, what's going on here?
I'm trying to request you to be a guest.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, already went away.
Okay. So but so many times we get caught up in the fear of self-reflection and looking in the mirror. I'm telling y'all, man, like, if you got a chance right now to look at the mirror, just pull out a mirror or walk up to a mirror and just look at that mirror and say, I love you and I forgive you. What are some things that you should get better at? And I promise you, within 24 hours, things will start rolling through your brain. It will just pop in like, oh man, I need to do this better. Bam. It's tough, yo. It's so tough, because you got to look yourself dead in the eye. You got to do this. I love you. I forgive you for anything you've ever done wrong. Where do you need to get better at? And you can't look away. It's challenging, man. It's so challenging. Can you scroll, please? And thank you. What we got here? Today you confirmed many things that I did not understand. I need people. Oh man, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. No material, what you got to strut, Oracle. My biggest mistake has always been to put faith in man. I know that everything is God's will. Man, that's huge right there. No matter what, sorry. Divine C, I'm learning to accept what could happen with excommunication caused us to break up. Oh, I got you. I'm learning to accept what could happen with an ex. Miscommunication caused us to break up. The thing about miscommunication is just not, it's so funny to me. And I'm not laughing at your situation. I'm just saying miscommunication is funny because it usually stems from a lack of point of view. Can you walk in the other person's shoes for a second to try to understand what they're saying? And we talked about it. It was last week, right? Where we talked about how men operate and how men should operate within relationships.
Yeah.
Look, men and women are different, yo. Like, unless you were with someone of the same sex, men and women are different. The feminine energy and the masculine energy are way different. Way different. And so the feminine energy, which typically a lot of women will speak through emotions. So they may say something, and that's not what they're trying to say, but they're so emotional about it. It's like, ugh. And when we hear it, we're only hearing the words. We're missing the emotions. And then when it's like, why are you mad about this? And like, what are you talking about right now? And so it's miscommunication happens all the time because of the breakdown of lack of understanding. Once you know that you don't understand something, what are you going to do to try to understand it? You can ask questions. You could talk it out. You could take a little time, come back to it, talk about it some more. It's so crazy. I agree. Try to keep your mindset in the present, not in the past and future. Exactly. I'm here in front of the mirror and I'm about to cry. Yeah, I see. There it is. Let it out. El Roca, let it out. Let it out. Playing with you loud so my son's here. What if Jesus knew all emotions and knew how to understand them? I mean, if that was the case, I don't think Jesus would have had, he wouldn't have had the journey he had to walk on. I think he was still learning. I think he was learning, or as a very strict person, guide them if they're, I can't see, if they are wrong. Yeah. El Roca, thank you. I know that it's God's work to have removed this blindfold from my eyes. It's just the start. It's not, the blindfold is going to come and go. But if you constantly check yourself and check in with yourself, it's going to be really, really hard for you to hide from yourself. You can't, Looney, I'm working on the book. If you can't, because you can't hide from yourself forever. You can hide from the rest of the world. You can show the rest of the world something else, but you can't hide from you. Not for a long period of time anyway. And so you got to just look yourself in the mirror and accept who you are, and accept the fact that you're not where you want to be if that's the case, right? Women are known to have emotions. It says it's strength, perhaps it's a gift from God. We're taking our time and not rushing this time, and we both forgave each other and talked. Still hurts with the aftermath. Let that sink in. Yeah. So Devon, it seems like you on the right path. It seems like you headed right there. So all I'll say to that is just have faith that everything will be good tomorrow. Recognize that past hurts don't represent today, and make sure that you lead with love and kindness, especially as men. We have to lead with love and kindness in our relationships. We have to be strong. I've had this happening in my life constantly for a couple of weeks. El Roca, what did you have happen? People put blindfolds. What you mean? Oh, Gigi, thank you. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you.
Necesito que
Oh, you're gonna have to translate that into haciendo las cosas bien. Oh, getting information like this, that's good. That's helping. Yeah, that's helping her out.
Supposed to be.
You making me show my non-Mexican roots here. I'm not a very good Mexican person because I don't know how to speak fluent Spanish. Yeah, un momento done. Oh, I need God to interrupt. I need God to interrupt my life. Why do you need God to interrupt your life? If you don't believe in God, I'm not gonna say check out, but at least just follow me here. Let's not be disrespectful. Look, God is always there in your life. God is always gonna be there. God is the voice that God is always there, and God is always telling you something. It's just whether or not you have the ears to hear it. I never take credit for my words. I believe in God. Maybe the translator is not his job well. It's no. I wasn't talking about whether you believe in God, El Roca. What I'm saying is that God's voice is always there. We just tune it out. And I guess in a way you could say when you go to the mirror and you say, I love you, I forgive you. How can you become better? Everything you hear is from God. Oh, Amy said there's a translate button. I'm gonna let Corey figure that out. It may not be on the studio.
Oh, this version. Maybe on the phone.
I'm still in the front, and I know that everything is God's word. Yeah. Like, really, really think about this. Everything that you hear is from God. If you believe in God, if you have faith in God. You hold the comment down, click translate. Oh, Amy, you know what, Amy? If you were right next to me, I'd give you the biggest hug. I give you the biggest hug. El Roca, can you hit us with something else in Spanish, please?
I thought he did.
So when I'm struggling, or if my brain is like my brain is just going in another direction that I wanted to go in, I take a shower and I talk to myself because it's something about water. Water is like the absolute best for me. And then I have some deep conversations, and a lot of times tears will come out, like, no doubt. And I'll just talk. And when I'm done, then I can have a different conversation in the mirror because now I'm emotionally worked through it. It's not letting you do it? Yeah, see, so I wonder if there's a difference in TikTok Studio or in the phone app. Yeah. So wait, can you scroll up a little bit? Gigi, thank you for the rose. Wait, is that the same rose? But regardless, thank you. Okay, I seen all that. I seen that.
Okay.
And then, okay, so Carl, Muay Thai is an extremely tough discipline and you coach at the highest level. Cool. I mean, Muay Thai is, as a former fighter, it is very brutal, but it's fun. It's very fun. It's very fun. So if a person doesn't believe in God, they have serious issues. I'm not going to say that, Larry. Everybody's free to believe in what they want to believe. God would even say that. Think about it this way, Larry. In the Bible and in almost every religion, it says, do not judge. It is not our job to judge. So judging others does not speak very godly of you. I'm just saying. So it's like, I'll leave it at that. El Roca, I don't know how this is happening, but I can understand every word this man speaks. Well, if you really can't understand English and you're understanding every word I meet, I'm every word that I'm saying, that's pretty dope. I don't know what's going on. Amy Badass, are you married? You are so handsome. Well, thank you, Amy. I am married. I'm on my second marriage. And thank you. I appreciate that very much. I try to do my thing, you know, out here. She's, I can't say that online. I can't swear like that online. They might kick, but that was dope. That was dope. I was just thinking about water last night. Oh, that's what's up. Larry Freeman, not judging. I mean, then my bad. I misunderstood what you said then. When you said they got a serious problem. So that's my bad on that then. And Amy, even though I'm married, I do motivational videos for people personally. And I do read bedtime stories that people could play. So you may not be able to get me right next to you physically, but you can have my voice over there though. Someone standing right beside you isn't going to just scream in your ear. Gracias. They nada. Doesn't mean they're not there though. Yes, exactly. Crafty moms, exactly. And look, the other side is always going to pull at you. I feel the other side pull at me, boy. Woo! That other side tries to pull me. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. The other side pulls at me pretty hard. It wants to take me back to that mind frame. It wants to put me back. That's how I know I'm doing something right. So, oh, Amy, that's a blessing. Thank you so much. Wait. Well, that is a blessing that you're gonna tune into the podcast, but does that mean you don't want the extra motivational videos? Man. Scott, how water washes away makeup, dirt, and whatnot, and made me start asking myself the real name. Yeah, there you go. Before we named it water. Oh, those two, okay. Crafty Moms, what made you decide to be a motivational speaker? It's just who I am, to be honest with you. You can't ask me advice without getting a monologue, as my people would tell me. If you say something, I feel sorry for like my boys, because sometimes I know they probably just want to vent, and I'm constantly solving. So it's just something that I've always done. If someone asks me something and they need help with something, it usually comes off as a motivational speech. I've just done it my whole life in sports, whether I was doing the sports or coaching. It's just kind of what I do. I wouldn't call it the only reason it's got to be in my bio as a motivational speaker or coach is because you need to have a label on it for others. I would just say it's who I am. I believe in what I'm saying. I don't put anything out there that I don't believe in. That's not really my style. So because I believe in it, I hope that you can feel what I'm saying, and hopefully it resonates with you. And the reason why I take it further and speak at schools or speak at other places or corporate functions, whatever, is because I've lived a life that I've been through it. I've been through a lot of mess, and I want people to know that you can overcome that mess and that you're not alone. And that even though your mess may not look like my mess, you understand that we've all had messes, and that you can figure out how to clean your own mess without anybody else. Because no matter who hurt you or what's happened, you can't go in the past to fix that. You gotta fix it now in the present so your future's better. And you're the only one that could do that. And I think that's why that's why I wanted to talk about self-reflection today, because the major part of cleaning that up is self-reflection. And I kept thinking about things that I've been through and things that I messed up. I talked about it early on in today's episode, how somebody said they were going to kill me, and I let that pull out my pride and my ego, and I approached them, and I ended up getting sliced up. I could have lost my life right then, for real. I almost brought those words into reality. And that was one of the first times I actually looked myself in the mirror and said, what are you doing? What's going on here? The direction that we're going in isn't the direction that we want. This is different from when other people hurt you, when your stepfather abused you, when your stepfather sexually assaulted you and did all these things to you. It's different from when this person did this or this. You actually walked yourself into danger here. And it's funny because it's also one of the first times I realized I can make words reality. This person said, they only said that they were going to kill me, right? That's it. That's what they said. I almost brought those words to life. About an inch deeper on my chest, inch deeper on my back, an inch and a half deeper on my chest. I'm not here. For what? Over words. Because money isn't even a good reason, but money wasn't involved. Like, there was no reason for me to approach that person. But my pride and my ego was hurt because you're not going to say you're going to kill me. So I had to do self-reflection. I had to really look myself in the mirror and say, yo, what are we doing? You may not play football. Your dream is gone over what? Your life was almost gone over what? So I had to start reflecting. But even then, I didn't fully wake up. I didn't fully take the blindfold off, as I seen someone say in the comments. I didn't remove myself from the fog. That was just the start of it. And that's what I mean. Like, you're gonna go through life and you're gonna make so many mistakes, but you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start looking at yourself. That's what I'm saying. If you got kids, you gotta start getting them on that path right now. Have them start looking at themselves. Start checking some of those things. Make sure that they look at themselves at a certain light. Because we're gonna go through it. Life is gonna throw everything at us, and the kitchen sink, so we're gonna go through it. So it's on us to constantly get better. Oh man, did I miss a lot? Gigi, thank you. I don't know if I missed a lot. Yeah. So, thank you, Amy. I want to do a podcast for addiction and helping my generation. Well, everyone get in it. Amy, let's go. Amy, where you stay at? Crafty Moms is something I admire and would love to do. You seem super comfortable talking to people. Awesome. Yeah, talking to people has never been an issue. I always think it's funny because I actually think I always think I'm an introvert. And then like Corey or other people laugh at me because I get so much energy from talking to people. But it's like, if I got my choice, I'm gonna curl up and be on my own. I'm gonna go chill, right? El Roca, I stand in front of the mirror and there are so many. Yeah, El Roca, I'm telling you, face them. Let the emotions be. Don't fight against it. Face it. Thank you. That's a huge problem. Senior universe, it takes time and your fall here and there. Yes. Happy I found y'all. Oh man, thank you so much. Life is hard. It's up to us to match live. Amy Badass Minute. Man, we right in Madison. We like right next door, but that's like a 4-hour journey. Oh, we gonna make this happen, Amy. You're gonna have to come down here. We're gonna have to do an episode together. We're gonna make that happen. And I think I'm coming up to Minnesota. I think I'm going to Chaplin, Minnesota in a couple weeks here. So Amy, DM your boy. Let's set something up. Yeah. You about a 4-hour drive from me right now. Between 4 and 5 hours, but I think it's a 4-hour drive from me. So we can make this work. And we bring you on as a guest. We can have a whole episode. Corey, you cool with that? That seems like a big topic.
Oh yeah.
We could talk about overcoming addiction. We could talk about the things that you got to do. And she said 5 hours, 3 hours. Oh, money. You don't even have to spend, never mind. You don't even have to like get a hotel room or stay the night or nothing. You just bounce through, do an episode, bounce back to the crib. And so, and it doesn't have to be live. We don't have to necessarily do it live. It'd be dope if it was, but we can make that work. Yeah. So DM your boy, make this happen. Now, and if we do that, then I'm gonna have to send you with some videos that are for free on the love. I can't just, man, make that work. But hopefully this helped, man. Like, take the time to look yourself in the mirror. Literally look at yourself in the mirror. I'm not meaning that just as a saying. Look yourself in the mirror, focus on it, and tell yourself that you love yourself. Forgive yourself for things and keep it pushing. And ask yourself, where is it that you can get better? What is it that you could do to be better? Ask yourself these questions. If you got issues going on, talk it through in the mirror to yourself. I'm psycho. You get me in the shower in front of the mirror, I start saying, yo, why'd you get mad about that, man? Like, what's your deal? Oh, it upset me. I felt like she was being disrespectful. I felt like, well, cool, your feelings are on point, but why are you getting mad about this, though? Like, really think about that. You got it all in your feelings. Your feelings are hurt because of it. Like, I will have a full-blown conversation with myself. And 2 different personalities will come out. Just like, I don't know if it was sounding like that on here, but that's basically what I do, is like I have a full conversation. Looney says, do you believe in the devil? Yes, I believe the devil tugs on me every single day. I feel it. I feel it when I'm like, right now I'm just eating, I talked about, I'm not eating quite a fighter's diet, and it's not, fighter's diet and keto diet are almost identical. So I'm not quite on that, but because my training has changed, because my body is so beat up, my eating habits have had to change, right? So, but I feel it. It's like every day I leave the gym. Some of y'all don't even know nothing about this. I drive by a place that serves a pizza puff every single day. Every day. They open at 10. I drive by this spot every single day. And all I want to have is a pizza puff. And I can't. And I refuse. To me, that's the devil pulling on my shoestrings. Pulling on my, like, hey, come get this. It'll taste so good. It'll be good for you. It'll be good. It'll be good for your soul. Man, ain't nothing good about that. All that grease, all that nastiness, that's going to mess my body up. And the same thing when it comes to other situations. When it comes to alcohol, I don't have any addictions, but I would love to have whiskey every single night. I'm trying to think what other situations, fighting, everything. Like it's so much. That's an interesting noise. Dun, 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 dun. So, all right, Amy, you do what you got to do. Go get your son, and you're very, very welcome. So hopefully it helps y'all, man. And Looney, thank you for the roses. And the weird thing is the devil pulls at you in little ways. It's not always big ways, because the big ways are obvious. So those little ways are, if he can pull me off my path with the pizza puff, can he pull me off my path so I have whiskey every day? Then all of a sudden I'm easier to influence. And those little things add up to the big things. But the funny thing is, God works the same way. God is steering you in the path with the little ways. And if you follow them, they turn into big things. So what would your advice be if your story involves tragedy? Share anyway. Wait, what? Let me read that again. What would your advice be if your story involves tragedy? Share anyway. So that's a personal journey, Crafty Moms. I think it depends on if you feel comfortable with talking about what you've been through. It and it's funny because there's layers to it, right? Hey Emily, there's definitely layers to it. So if you I had no problem telling people that I was raped and sexually assaulted by my stepfather. What I never did before is go into detail, not about like so much what happened, but like different details of what it was like to walk down to the basement, how the light would shine through the door, and you'd walk in the basement, it gets darker and darker and darker, and how I would walk in the room and it's pitch black. Like I never shared moments like that, how the person that I was when I walked down there wasn't the person that came upstairs. The person that walked down there was scared and was afraid of everything and was terrified of walking down there and knew what pain was coming about and didn't want to go through it and wanted to run away. And the person that came up felt no pain. That person was numb. That person had to go somewhere else in their mind and become a different person. So I didn't know how to share that because I can say it now, I honestly wasn't ready to dive deep into myself on that one. And it took a while. Like Corey, this is like the third or fourth rendition of this podcast. And there's so many versions that you guys haven't seen that we never put out. And one of them was just me talking to myself or Corey asking me questions. And that was like therapy to work through it so I can get to here. So I would say it just depends on what level you're at as sharing. Oh, Crafty Moms, thank you. I would say don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, because if I don't know what kind of father I would have been if I didn't go through that. I don't know what kind of man I would have been if I didn't go through that. So every journey has struggles. Every journey on a path has trials and tribulations you have to overcome. These were mine. You know what I'm saying? Like they're mine every day. But it's helped me become a better person. So if you've been through something and you want to share it, you don't have to share it on a public platform like this. You don't even have to share it to that many people. Maybe you just share it like your name is Crafty Mom, so I'm guessing you're a woman. I'm guessing you're a mom. I'm guessing that if I start breaking down the stats of what women can go through and what moms can go through sometimes, you know, it kind of lets me know that maybe you could talk at a women's shelter. If it's something from your childhood, maybe you could talk to children. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be on some big platform. It could just be small. It could just be helping your own kids out. It could be helping nieces and nephews out, letting them know and being transparent about what you've been through so that they know they're not alone and that you're there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Wow. Mine, I just don't want to upset the family, but it's heavy on my heart every single day. So, if you don't want to upset the family, then you have to make a choice. Do you share? I always think about this. Oh, I got to tell this person what I did. Do you? Is it gonna? Oh, Emily, thank you so much. I feel blessed that you are a part of my life and part of my journey as well, and that I feel so grateful to be a part of yours. So let me say that because Emily, I see you all the time. You and your daughter Maddie, I feel so blessed that I've met you too, and your son. I rock with him too. So you have to decide when you share information. Are you sharing it for you or are you sharing it? Why are you sharing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it for the betterment of others? Is it for the betterment of you? And I would say before you share it with the people that it could affect, make sure you deal with some of your stuff first. Because if I would have just came out the gate sharing all of this, I don't know if I would have been emotionally ready to face family members or answer questions or even have that conversation with others. So I had to make sure that I was on stable footing first, if that makes sense. So I would say start journaling about it if you haven't. And if you want to talk about it, honestly, talk to yourself. Set up your camera, right? Set up a phone, set up whatever, and just talk. Just let it out. And make sure you're alone. Scream it out, yell it out, cry it out. Just let it out. You never have to share it with anybody. You can watch it back yourself. But get an audio recorder and just talk. Just let it out and just talk. Get all the jumbling out. Get all the emotions out. Because it's always going to be emotional. Just get it out. Hopefully that helps you. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate all the comments, the questions, the back and forth, because I could talk for an hour straight. I don't want to. Not just talking. I like talking with others and having a full-blown conversation. It happened 5 years ago, and it's coming up on that date. Thank you. I appreciate that. What I would say is, it happened 5 years ago, but now, and it's coming up on that date again. You need to face it. You cannot let it hold you down anymore. You can't let it stop you. You can't let it hurt. You can't let it hurt you like it just happened, right? The scar is never going to go away, but you got to let it become a scar. You have to let it become a scar. And that means you have to let it heal. That means you have to let it go. The process of letting it go could mean writing, could mean audio, could be, yeah, you've been facing it, but you're not letting it go. You have to let the pain go by letting it out, expelling it. Like I said, write it down. Audio recording, video recording, screaming at something while you're punching a freaking punching bag. I don't know. Paint, build a craft and cry it out. You have to let it go so it can heal. Because right now it's just an open wound that sometimes clears out, and then when it gets closer to the date, it starts burning because it's infected. It's still there. It's still hurting you. It's still affecting you. It's affecting, when that day comes, it's going to affect you the same way it did 5 years ago, but we don't live 5 years ago. Your name says Crafty Mom, right? So hopefully what happened didn't have anything to do with your kids, because then I'll be like, oh man. So if your kid fell down and scraped their knee, but 5 years ago they were afraid to do exactly that same thing because they scraped their knee, what would you tell them? Right? We cannot live in the past. Or better yet, here's a funny one for everybody. Lion King. This one always makes me laugh too. Lion King, when Rashiki, is it Rashiki? I think it's Rashiki. The monkey with the stick sees Simba all grown, and Simba's like, Rafiki, thank you. Rafiki, thank you very much for that, B. I appreciate you. You came in at the right time, my brother. Toast and Simba's talking about it can't go back, and bop! Hit Simba right in the head, right? He's like, that hurts. He's like, yes, it hurts, but it's in the bust. It's in the bust. What are you going to do? And then he goes to swing the stick again, and Simba ducks. You learn from it, right? You learn from it. The scar is going to be there. The pain is never going away, but you can learn from it. That's why when you said, I'm sorry, I'm like, don't be sorry for what happened to me. What happened, happened. I learned from it. I kept it pushing. It's still a scar. It still hurts, man. It hurts some days. And some things that happen take me back there sometimes. Right? But I pull myself back to present day, be in the moment, be grateful for what I have, be grateful for the people in my life, and remind myself that I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I could not be here. I'm blessed that I get to see my kids. I'm blessed that I get to have awesome students. I'm blessed that my life is going the way it's going. I'm blessed that I can do something like this. The blessings stack up. I'm blessed that I have water. I'm blessed that there's trees and the sun and the moon. I'm like, I can go for days on this. I'm blessed, man. And so are you. So are you. Oh, man. That's what's up, B. But in order to truly receive your blessings, you have to take time to look yourself in the mirror and have those talks. Now, the mirror could mean literally. I do mean literally on that. But if you don't have a mirror in front of you, you can still have that conversation, and that would be technically talking to the mirror. You have to be comfortable with yourself in order to really fully understand what you're grateful for and your blessings. We're not perfect. Avoid comparing yourself to others. And realize that you're good enough. If there's things that you want to make better, then check with yourself. How can I be better at this? What should I do to be better? How can I improve? What can I do? And go with that. I struggle with a lot of survivor's guilt. Still, I don't know that it'll ever go away. I'm so blessed. Yeah, the scars never go away. The scars never go away. But they're reminders of how blessed that we are, and they're lessons for us to learn. Continue learning your lessons and realize that that's all life is. It's teaching us lessons. Some good, some bad. Some of us are hard-headed. I know I'm very hard-headed, so sometimes it took multiple times to learn the lesson. So, but no matter what, we're good. All right? Man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all so much. Next Monday, we won't be in the studio. I'll probably do a live feed from the crib again. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? No. This is how we go. Yes, I do one-on-one sessions. You just got to hit me up. DM me. I definitely do one-on-one sessions. So just hit me up, Looney. I love you too, M. So wait a minute. I'm going to change something. The Matt Brown interview was supposed to come out today. I'm pushing it back a week. So I'm going to hit him on a Monday. I'm going to hit y'all next Monday when I'm not in the studio. There we go. So y'all going to get the Matt Brown interview, former UFC fighter, retired UFC fighter he's got the most KOs in the UFC next Monday. That's what y'all getting next Monday. We talk about masculine, we talk about the feminine, we talk about fighting, we talk about all kinds of stuff. So man, there we go. Boop. There we go. Matt Brown next Monday since I ain't in the studio. That's how we're going to roll. DM me, follow me, subscribe to YouTube, Control You. You Control You. Make sure you check out Instagram, man. Everything is there. Check it out. I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all. Man, DM me. Let's keep it pushing. Peace.